This is James Taylor, and you're listening to The Creative Life. The Creative Life podcast is a show created for you, the creative. If you're looking for inspiration, motivation, and advice while at home, at work, or on your daily commute, then this show is for you. Each episode brings you a successful creative, whether that's a musician, writer, artist, designer, performer, educator, or creative entrepreneur. They share their journey, their successes, their failures, their creative process, their insights, and much, much more. This episode is sponsored by C School, the online school for creativity training. If you'd like to unleash your creative potential and access a free Creativity Blueprint training series, then just head over to c.school. That's www.c.school for your free training series. In this episode, I speak with Ciprian Soleriu, and we talk about evergreen revenue streams, virtual summits, and how to build your list. Enjoy this episode. Hey there, it's James Taylor, and I'm delighted today to be joined by Ciprian Soleriu. Ciprian is one of the smartest guys out there when it comes to automating your business. A self-described procedures guy, he loves to see people succeed using his automation blueprints and business hacks. He specializes in helping people transform one-time launches into automated lifetime evergreen revenue streams. If you're looking for more business and less stress, then Ciprian is definitely someone you want to have on your team, and it's my great pleasure to welcome him onto the show today. So welcome, Ciprian.
Hello, and thank you very much for inviting me, James.
So share with everyone what's going on in your world just now.
Well, right now we're working on a huge summit. We're turning it evergreen and also helping other people with their Evergreen Webinars. So I would say I'm pretty busy this week and also the next one.
So for people that don't know Summit, I know obviously you and I have ran lots of different kind of summits in the past, but what is a summit? When we hear this, that is becoming a real buzzword just now, especially online, what is a summit?
Well, basically a summit is a conference, but a conference that is happening online. People can attend a conference by getting a free ticket and see all the interviews and all the topics that are being discussed on an online environment, so they do not have to travel, they don't have to go to a big event, they don't have to purchase airplane tickets or hotel bookings, so they see everything online, and then if they want to keep all the recordings for themselves, and maybe some virtual summit guests offer more than just the recordings, some offer the transcripts, maybe mind maps, maybe action plans, maybe, I don't know, a lot of different people that can add up to the experience of people that participate. They can purchase the all access pass. And that's basically the business model, which has a lot of iterations depending on the niche and on the person actually creating the virtual summit.
Now, these kind of online summits, these virtual summits, they've been around for a couple of years, especially in the online marketing space, but the thing I'm really excited about them just now is you're starting to see them more and more in other industries, in places you wouldn't necessarily expected. Maybe can you give me some examples of ones you've seen recently you think these are really interesting, and then because they are relatively new as a concept into these places, that they're making a lot of waves with it?
Sure. So I can give you some examples from the clients that I work with, because these are like so different niches, it blows your brain. So I've helped people that have created virtual summits on powerlifting, on creating books that become bestsellers, on problems with your stomach, right? So intestinal problems, on strength for women, on let me think. There are so many, on parenting, on. So I'm just mentioning things that are not related to business, right? Yeah. So niches that are totally different, and I think especially if one of our listeners is thinking of doing potentially a summit in a niche that is not business related, where people are not so used to it, it will bring a big novelty in that niche, and it is a potential business model that can actually grow and explode with it. So I would say any kind of niche is possible.
So what is from the benefits of the person that's putting the summit together, hosting the summit? What are the benefits of doing something like that?
Well, there are several benefits. First of all, list building. It's really fast to build a list, because people see this as events, and they are actually actual events that happen. Then relationship building with the speakers, making new connections. Getting sponsors on board, is also another potential for this virtual summits, because a lot of companies in different niches want to expose their brand and their offerings to a lot of people. And especially if the niche did not have virtual summits in the past, having one yourself is a really great opportunity to bring sponsors on board. And basically, a virtual summit also puts the author in the position of being an important person in that particular niche, an expert, if you want, because like I read someplace that Napoleon Hill, when he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, he wasn't that rich himself, but he became an expert because he spoke with so many rich people, and that made him an expert in the eyes of the people that were reading his book. So basically, if you create an online summit, you can become the go-to expert in your industry because you connect with so many other experts, and you learn from them, and you connect people with other experts, and that puts you in a perfectly privileged position to bring more business into your company.
The other thing I find really fascinating about these from the attendees' perspective is it's an incredible way of, in a very short period of time, maybe it's like a 7 days or 10-day summit, to get a huge amount of information. It's almost like if you're into like just-in-time learning, where you're maybe interested in something, let's say you're wanting to publish a book, your first book, you can just get a huge amount of information from like some of the best minds on an area in a very, very short period of time. And it seems to be that's one of the things I hear when people have attended our summits, the things they really value from them, because they said, I could have traveled to all these, traveled the world to these different kind of events, live events, but you get this just a huge amount of content in a very, very short period of time.
Exactly. And here's a parallel. So if you want to travel, let's say from Barcelona to London to attend a live conference, you would first prepare your luggage. Let's say that takes an hour, maybe 2. Then you would travel to the airport. That takes another hour. Then you would wait for 2 hours or 3 hours in the airport to go into the plane. And that's 3 plus 2 plus 1. It's 6 hours already. And then you fly to London. That's maybe 2 or 3 hours. And that's 9 hours. And then you get off the plane and you go from London to your hotel, for example. That's 2 more hours. So we end up at 8 hours already. No, at 11 hours, right? And then you attend the conference. Now, with a virtual summit, before even you get to attend a live conference, an on-site conference, that time spent only traveling, you can invest it into watching a virtual summit and listening to all the experts in there, and you already get the information. Does make sense?
And absolutely, and I guess the other big benefit of attending an online summit is where, let's say, it costs you $1,000 to attend an event, and then you have the travel cost. Maybe that's another $500 or $1,000 or whatever the price is to attend, and the hotels and the flights and taxis. With most of the online summits I've seen, there's pretty much always like a free pass. So basically, you can kind of get in there. It doesn't really cost you anything to be able to watch those videos as they're being released. So So the question, when I first started seeing them, before I even started running them, I was like, so how are these people making money from this event? I couldn't work it out at first. So how can you talk us through like if someone's maybe interested in running a summit, how does the financial side of things work?
Well, there are two kinds of virtual summits. There's the live virtual summit that happens, let's say, from January 23rd until January 30th, right? I'm just putting up a date, and that's live, and people can participate during those dates. Now, the owner of the summit, the creator of the summit, makes money by selling the All Access Pass during that time period, and that's his way of making money. First, that's the main one. Then, if he has another product, or if he partners up with partners, he can use the list that he has built with the summit, and he can sell other products that are useful for that list, and that will help that list accomplish their goals. But this is the live summit, and this happens for a limited period of time. And then there's the Evergreen virtual summit, which is something that we create, me and my team, by taking existing virtual summits that have ended in the future, that were successful, and we make them perpetual events. And what that means is that anybody can join your summit and go through the same experience as the people that participated to the live summit from January 21st to January 29th or 30th, but instead there will be no calendar dates limitation. So that means that people can sign up anytime, they can purchase anytime, and you transform these digital assets that you have created, this information, this content that you have, all the interviews, all the other things that you're giving for the All Access Pass, and you have the ability to sell them any single day. Plus, you have the ability to sell any single day your upsell products, your backend products, your partners' products. And this is basically the next logical step for somebody that has created a virtual summit in the past, to try to turn it evergreen, turn it perpetual, so that the information that it already has, the content, can live on and on without the need to stop all the sales and to stop everything after the calendar says the summit is over.
So this idea of the evergreen virtual summit, where you create something once and it's basically a continual evergreen income stream to you as well. I know someone that's created a number of virtual summits, live virtual summits in the past. I know how much work and energy and love and attention kind of goes into those. I always felt that, wow, I did all that work and it's great and we had all these attendees come on, but I would love to find other ways to use it. And in the past, maybe we've taken out parts and we've used them as part of an online course or something, but it never really felt really kind of great. I felt there was a better way of doing it. And you've really kind of pioneered this area of taking a virtual summit and then evergreening it. I'd love to know, where did the inspiration for this come from? What was going on in your life to kind of make you kind of get to this point of, okay, this is an idea that I want to try and see if this can work?
Sure. So, people say that the best business ideas come from the needs that somebody has and finds a solution for its own personal needs. And then apparently other people want this solution because they have the same need, but they never expressed it. And this is how I ended up creating Evergreen Virtual Summits. I have created in 2016 a virtual summit that was called Launch with Partners, and I had around 30 experts attending, speaking to the summit, and I had a lot of partners that wanted to promote it. But then again, I had a few partners that wanted to promote but said, man, I couldn't do it because during your open cart period, I was busy. I already had something planned up. And I was thinking, man, but how about if I can do something that allows everybody that is interested in helping me and promoting my stuff, promote it when they have free time. So it makes me more flexible instead of trying to squeeze everybody into my schedule. So this is how I ended up, playing with different ideas and testing things. And I created the first version of Launch with Partners into an Evergreen Virtual Summit. And then I said, okay, now I have this, I know it works. Let's run some ads and see what happens after I run some ads. So bring in cold traffic. And my biggest proof of concept and my fastest proof of concept was when I created some ads in Facebook. I spent 11 cents, 0.11 US dollars, and I got a $67 sale. Now, and I was like, man,
that's a serious ROI there.
That was a serious ROI. And then I was like, okay, this is really interesting. Let's keep going. And then I started helping other people with their summits. Other people that I talked about and told them about my summits, they said, okay, can you do it for me? And I was like, sure, okay, this is the cost. And I did it. And then I waited a month to ask about the results. And for example, one of them, Alinka, one of my clients, she has a summit on authors, on how to launch books. And she was actually in a cruise around Alaska at the time. And she wrote me an email, hey man, it's 100% ROI already. And then 3 days later, and now somebody purchased my backend product and now it's 300% ROI, and so on and so forth. And I was really, really happy seeing that everything is clicking together, and these things actually work really, really well.
So this idea you're adding passive income to what is otherwise a very active type of thing you have to do. You have to kind of create this summit. So it's a revenue stream. You're also having a thought leadership. So you're positioning yourself as a thought leader in the space. You're obviously building somebody who's able to build their list very quickly as well. as you kind of started getting into this world of kind of putting, especially helping people that are real kind of subject matter experts, in whatever their areas, they're real thought leaders, but maybe the marketing, I know, is often the bit that is very difficult, because it's just like there's a lot of complexity, there's a lot of technology sometimes required, especially when it comes to online as well. Was there a key point in doing that? You mentioned that woman in Alaska. Maybe was there another client where you sensed, okay, what I'm doing is really working. It's really kind of helping both that person generate, the revenue and build their thought leadership, but even more importantly, it's actually helping their audience as well experience that information.
Exactly. And I think evergreening a launch is not only for the money. So a lot of people, when we talk about the potential of evergreening a launch, they think about immediately, okay, the only reason for me doing this is making more money. Well, making more money is part of the reason. Sure, you will make more money because this will become a passive type of income. On the other hand, think of, for example, any of your summits, James. They have ended, right? Mm. Now, during the period that your summits were available, you touched a limited number of people.
Yeah.
Right? So even if you would have wanted to touch the whole population that would have been interested in your niche, you could only touch, with the resources that you had, a limited number of people. Some maybe didn't open their computer, they were in a holiday, they were traveling or whatever, right? Now, all those people that you haven't touched with your message, with your live summits, are people that could have benefited from what you offer them, but will never have, because right now your summit is closed. So before actually thinking of course, it's a make more money type of thing. Yes, it makes more money, but it also helps more people. Because I think for most of us, the number one reason when we started creating those summits was to help more people. Because if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want in life. Like Zig Ziglar, you said long time ago.
Yeah. And I think there's something as well when you do these summits, especially when you run these and put these events together. I've been in situations multiple times where I'm hearing this guest share some absolute secrets, real gems.
Yes.
And I know it could transform the lives of lots of people. And I can't wait to share this with people. And I always felt really bad. Like, okay, I'm going to be sharing it on that one day, and I want as many people as possible to hear it. But then you have the summit, and then it ends. So that having that evergreen virtual side allows us to do that as well. Because I'm guessing one of the other reasons I know one of the downsides that we hear about when we talk about launches, and launches are amazing, and I love launching products and courses and different things, but they do take a lot of work. let's not deny this. There's a lot of just sitting butt on seat in front of computer building these things.
Yes.
And there's a lot of emotional I think energy goes into creating it, because you're sitting there on the day hoping that someone, when you open that cart, people are going to start buying the thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Exactly.
And so that's I know launches are a very, very common thing and very kind of fashionable thing just now, but it sounds like that's not the only way to go. There is this idea of adding these evergreen sides in.
Exactly. So a launch, and when I say a launch, it can be any type of launch. It can be a virtual summit. It can be a product launch formula type of launch, Jeff Walker's PLF. It can be a webinar, a live webinar. It can be any type of launch that you think that is time-based. It is a roller coaster. I mean, you're working for weeks, maybe months, to create the content for the launch. You work a lot of time to create the content for your product that you're selling, right? And then, as you said, you open cart. And then what if something goes wrong? What if the landing page is not perfect? Well, it's never perfect, but what if the conversion on the landing page could have been better? What if some technical glitch appears and things doesn't work as I planned? What if all these things that make you have sleepless nights and a lot of emotions, and it's basically a roller coaster. And then you get some sales, and maybe you get a peak of sales. But what if the next launch is not such a high peak? What if the next launch is smaller while your expenses are still the same or maybe bigger? Now, so there are so many things that live launches have for them. They're very good. But I think the smartest thing to do once you have a live launch that went well think of turning it evergreen. Why? Because you won't have to go through the same roller coaster again, because the systems put in place will go through step by step through all the process that your customer needs to go from cold customer to cold lead to warm lead to purchaser to client. And also it gives you a lot of time to think about new projects and new things to do.
And I think, what you were saying earlier there is this isn't just about the money, about making money from something. It's also about the kind of lifestyle that you want to have as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Because if you can't step away from your business for 3 months and still having it generating income, you kind of don't have a business. You have a job, with a crazy boss, i.e. you. And I often think about, I've seen this happen very recently with some friends who, one of them, his wife had a very, very serious illness, and he's had to step away, from his business. And thankfully he had a business that was allowed him to do that. But sometimes it might just be, you want to, young family, you might, we want to spend time with family, or frankly, you just want to go and sit on a beach for 3 months and look into the stars or something. But, by kind of evergreening those launches that you're doing, it allows you to kind of do that as well. Was there one particular, in your kind of journey, your creative journey, as a marketer as well, was there a particular insight or a light bulb moment in your life when you went, okay, this is the direction I want to be going with my work. This is how I want to help and transform people's lives?
I would say, yeah. The first time we talked, I was in Spain, right? If you remember, and I could actually go there and spend a month and a half in Spain because I've done so many things to help my business, like evergreening a lot of stuff and making sure that a lot of systems work for me. And being there and having the ability to spend time with my family more than just in the evenings a little bit, because I usually end up my schedule at around 2 or 3 p.m. and then I go home and spend time with my son, made me realize this is exactly what I want to do. So I felt that I'm on the right track, because the way I set up my life was how I wanted it to be, and because I was helping people set up their life. And I want to make a quick mention here. A lot of people, when they think about evergreening their stuff, they might be afraid to do it because they think that, okay, if everything is evergreen, then what do I do now? Right?
With the void that they fill.
Exactly, the void. Like I don't have to work, means I'm useless. What do I do now? Now, the nice thing of having systems work for you is basically they duplicate you, they clone you kind of in a digital way. So the systems do what you once did, and they do it ongoing and ongoing and ongoing without mistakes, without being tired, without falling asleep. So you can free up your mind and enter into new projects and new things that are interesting for now in your life, because our life changes. The things that we loved 2 years ago might not be the same things that we like right now, and might not be the same things that we like 2 years from now, right? So this thing actually, the systems, these perpetual systems, give you the opportunity to develop yourself as a person, because you will have more time to think about yourself and what you do and the impact that you have in the world.
But what I love about that as well, it means that decisions that you do make once you have that set up, the decisions you're making from a position of strength, not from a position of, I have to do this next thing, this next product, go and speak at this next event because I need to bring in money.
Exactly.
And so you can actually become much more strategic in your thinking. Think, well, actually, where do I want to see my business go? How do I want to impact the world? And so you can, I love that fact that it does release you to make better quality decisions as well. We've spoken about a couple, I know you and I, we were kind of fascinated about the technology and the process and the systems as well. Is there a particular online resource or a tool or a mobile app like Evernote that you love to use and you find really useful for the work you do?
So I just told you before we started, I'm concentrating all my efforts into using a single project management tool, because right now our efforts have been scattered. We are using Trello, a little bit of Asana, and a lot of emails to communicate with our clients and in everything that we do. And these things, take a lot of energy and are prone to mistakes eventually. So the one tool that I found really useful and I'm using right now with all my team is called Taskworld.com. And it's a project management tool. It has everything that I need for now. And I think that for people that think Trello should have something extra or Asana should have something extra, should go and check out Taskworld. And I'm not an affiliate or anything, but I think it's a good tool. And for me, at least, in project management, works really, really well.
Awesome, and I'm definitely gonna check that out because we use a whole bunch of different tools. We use Trello and Slack in terms of our communication and project. But I'm always constantly looking at ways to slim down the product stack.
Exactly.
The technology, because it just uses it every time you have to get another thing. It's not, and especially as your business grows, it's not just you that has to do. You have to train everyone else on that same system and your clients as well. So that's a great suggestion. Taskworld.com. We'll put that link here on the show notes. What about if you were to recommend one book and one record, one album to our listeners? What would they be? And as I'm asking you the record, I know that actually where you live has like one of the biggest electronic dance music kind of festivals in the world.
I'm told.
So I wasn't sure if you're an EDM type person or if you're into other music. But what would that record and what would that book be?
So I'm going to tell you, so if people are interested in electronic music, Untold is the festival they should be in. It's in my town where I live in Romania. It's in Transylvania. It's really, really cool. Hundreds of thousands of people attended the last 3 years. It's only 3 years old, but it's already huge. So I will tell you a record. So I'm going to tell you where I will go in December. In a few weeks, I'm going to Milan to visit Shakira's concert. So I'm going to attend Shakira. We like it. It's a really nice tempo and it's a really happy kind of music. So Shakira is a good record. And books, yes, a book that I like is Automatic Customers. Give me a second to check out the author. So because I don't want to.
And as you're saying that just now, and you and I were speaking kind of earlier about kind of different books. I know we both have a huge love of books. You talk about Napoleon Hill as well, and I know that one of the summits you were involved in was a bestseller summit. I think it was called Bestseller Summit, where you worked
Bestseller Summit online, yes.
And they
for my friend Jesse Krieger.
And they created a great event for people that wanted to actually learn not just about reading books, but actually writing their own books as well.
Yeah, so the book is The Automatic Customer, Creating a Subscription Business in Any Industry, and it was written by John Warrilow.
Oh, John Warrilow, yes, I know John. He also wrote a great book called Built to Sell, which is another fantastic book as well. And we'll put that on the show notes at the same time. So a kind of final question here for you, Ciprian. Let's imagine tomorrow morning you kind of woke up and you had to start from scratch. So you woke up, no one knows you, you know no one, but you have all the tools of your trade, all the knowledge that you've acquired over the years, but you have to restart. What would you do? How would you restart?
Okay, so what I would do if I were to start from scratch, I would create a webinar. I would, first of all, I would think of what I'm good at, and if what I'm good at can help people, then I would create a webinar, and I would teach them how to do it, to do what I can do for themselves. And of course, I would sell them a done for you type of service where I can help them get this thing done quicker, faster, without mistakes, without the learning curve. And then I would find partners to help me promote this webinar to their list and help more people with it. So this is what I would do in the next 7 days, maybe 14 days.
I know that's one. I mean, we'll be speaking a lot about online summits and evergreening online summits, but you also work with a lot of clients who do webinars and want to create more kind of evergreen type webinars as well. So where, I know many people out there, especially in the coaching and the consulting world, will do live webinars, But the downside is live webinars. You always have to be, there, and I always suggest do, a number of them live first time anyway to kind of iron out the kinks. But then after that point, you want to evergreen them and create some kind of evergreen. And that's why I know that's one of the things that you also help with.
Definitely. And if I may suggest a landing page where people can see our work and a lot of testimonials that our clients gave us, it's called evergreendoneforyou.com. I think it's pretty straightforward what it does. So Evergreen Done For You, and there they can book a call with me and have a chat. And I would love to help as many people as possible transform what they already had and was successful into something that will always be successful and work perpetually, so that they can free up their mind and their time to do other things, other projects, and develop basically their life.
Well, Ciprian, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you as always and learning about the work you do, and it is very transformational. Being able to help people create those kind of evergreen businesses, evergreen revenue streams. It not only changes the lives of the people that are creating those businesses, but also the people that are attending and the customers for them. So you're doing amazing work. So thank you so much for coming on The Creative Life, and I wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you very much for inviting me, James. It's been a pleasure. And good luck to all our listeners. I hope their businesses grow and everything that they do is successful forever.
Hey, James Taylor here again. And if you're interested in living a more creative life, then I'd love to invite you to join me as I share some of the most successful strategies and techniques that high-performing creatives use. I put them all together in a free downloadable ebook that you can get by going to jamestaylor.me. That's jamestaylor.me to get your free downloadable ebook on creativity.